live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
All right, so I don't know what's going on in Green Bay. And I think ever since they hired, I don't even know the head coach's name right now. Sorry, guys. Like, we prep for this and, you know, we look at names and stuff like that. And then we get here and start recording and I start drawing a blank. Matt LaFleur, because he was a quarterback for, I believe, Louisville. Mm-hmm. Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Seems like ever since he got there and they switched over to guard, stuff hasn't been too kosher between the organization and Aaron Rodgers. And one of there have been a few big pieces in this whole thing, but a few of the more notable is that they fired his quarterbacks coach. Mm-hmm. They went out and drafted a quarterback and they traded up to draft him, to draft his replacement. And they got rid of one of his favorite receivers, Jordy Nelson. And so he's been a little upset about the culmination of these things and the lack of respect that it shows for him as a franchise quarterback. So to add insult to injury, the Packers president comes out and says that Aaron Rodgers is dividing the fans. Is this fair or foul?
How is Aaron Rodgers dividing the fans? First of all, have you heard Aaron Rodgers say a word? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
He said what he said, right? I said what I said.
I said what I said.
Coming, and that's it. I don't want to be here, and that's it.
Right.
Nothing more. It's not been back and forth. He hadn't been in social. You know how some players use social media to try to get what they want, to get them traded. Like your boy, we needed to talk about that too. The whole Le'Veon Bell and Andy Reid. Like, what is happening, sir? But okay, never mind. I was about to go there because I was about to say, see, it's a pattern. It ain't. We need to pay attention. There's a pattern here.
New
Can't
York,
always be the coach.
Kansas City.
Can't always be. Anyway. Anywho, but in this situation, he hasn't been utilizing social media to avail to the public and to the fans. He has not. And so it's interesting that you say that he's dividing the fans, because I'd be curious to know what that means. Like, dividing them how? Are there fans? What are the fans saying? The ones who are on his side, are they like, give him a trade? Because that's the only thing he's asked for. So I'm trying to figure out, well, why would they be on his side if that's what they want him to stay? Why would they want to be on his side? Like, what are you saying? What is it that what's the division?
Right.
I think so. I need you to be more clear, Mark Murphy, in making these statements, to explain exactly what you mean when you say he is dividing the fans.
You know what I took that statement to mean? I took that statement to mean that he is attempting to shift the blame on Aaron Rodgers about this whole situation with him not feeling good about how they've treated him as a quarterback or as a staple of that franchise. And so if we say that he's dividing the fans, then we're clearly placing all of the blame on him and not any of the blame on the president and the GM and the head coach, right? Because, and we heard, what's the quarterback from the Pittsburgh Steelers, legendary quarterback, Terry Bradshaw. We heard him come out and try to say that Aaron Rodgers is being soft because he doesn't want to have any competition. But I think that anyone who's seen Aaron Rodgers play knows that he's all about competition. And so it made me look at what's going on behind the scenes
That's the only thing. Okay, so I see Aaron Rodgers said this.
Mm-hmm.
Love the coaching staff, love my teammates, love the fan base in Green Bay. An incredible 16 years. It's just kind of about a philosophy and maybe forgetting that it is about the people that make the things go. It's about character. It's about culture. It's about doing things the right way.
Right. Yeah. And that, you know, I don't think he said that on Pat McAfee's show. You know, that was one of the my show picks some time ago. I don't think he actually said that. I think he alluded to that being the issue, like, you know, doing things the right way. And he has to feel a way watching Tom Brady win a Super Bowl. One, because of what happened, you know what I'm saying, during that game. But two, he went down there and they gave him everything he asked for.
Yeah.
And that's what you do to generational type players.
The man been there almost 20 years.
Yeah, so
like he behind Tom Brady at the Patriots, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do you know has been a quarterback in the same space that long? Not in this, I mean, currently. Like
nobody.
Other than Drew Brees, but it wasn't even that long for him.
No, and it wasn't even that long for him. And Drew Brees started his career with San Diego Chargers.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So he's been with the exact same team this entire time. And maybe the Tom Brady situation is what's motivating him to want out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because these are some of the same things that Tom Brady talked about when he left New England. Right? These are some of the exact same things that Tom Brady talked about when he left New England. And so I feel like they need to honor this man's wishes. He ain't doing it nasty. Like some of these people, I just feel like that's buffoonery, the way that they carry on to try to get out. Like you're looking like a little kid, like temper tantrum. But he's trying to do this the right way. And so I feel like y'all need to honor that man, especially considering that you're not going to give him anything he wants. Just honor him and just like part ways. Then you don't have to worry about the fans being divided, right? If you just part ways. And
this is about manipulation, right? Because if whoever controls the media controls the masses.
Yeah.
You know, and so by Aaron Rodgers taking the high road, it allows for Mark Murphy to get on a radio show and say that he's dividing the fans.
Right.
And then it shifts to, oh, it looks like Aaron Rodgers is being selfish or he doesn't want to have conversation. And so I think that Aaron Rodgers at this point needs to just come out and say, I no longer wish to play for the Green Bay Packers. Please trade me, and come out and say that publicly. You know, he's already given his reason why he doesn't like what's going on.
Yeah.
But if we're going to play this media game and you're going to try to smear me and make it seem like I'm the bad guy, then no, I don't want to play for this organization.
No, I don't blame it. I mean, this man, it doesn't mean that's a lot to him, y'all, but this man forfeited $500,000. Yeah. If that shows you anything about where it has become clear that this is about he's taking a moral stance. It's not about money. This ain't about ego. This is not about any of that. This is a moral stance. I feel like he's just taking a moral stance. And so, I don't like the whole, definitely, even if you felt like it, he was divided, like for you to say it publicly, now it is going to be divisive.
You've just made it divisive.
You made it divisive. And that's
but by telling people that it's Aaron Rodgers is making it divisive, you've shifted the narrative.
Sounded like somebody else.
That's not cool. Yeah.
We know somebody else who manipulated the media like that.
Who?
Cheeto.
Huh?
Cheeto.
Oh yes. Oh, he's yeah. And his minions.
So, but I for Aaron Rodgers, what I don't want is for his career to end like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where he just be like, you know what? Nope, I'm not coming, and they just stalemate and they just stay in this space. You know what I mean?
Oh, it'll 100% be a Carson Palmer type thing if it turns to that. You know, because he was the MVP of the league last year.
Yeah.
No, it ain't going. Now the Packers may dig their heels in, and that's fine because that's the same thing that the Bengals did. But when the Bengals saw that Andy Dalton could replace Carson Palmer and that he had some success early, they were like, "Oh, let's get him up out of here."
Right.
So,
well, I just want him not. I want him to be able to end his career the way he wants to.
I did say Carson Palmer, didn't I?
You did.
Okay, I was making sure I didn't say Carson Wentz.
No, you said Palmer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's just
Yeah.
You know, Aaron hold a place in there.
Yeah, we already know.
Kind of my football quarterback crush. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's stay right here at the NFL.
Okay.
You know, this one is a difficult one with me. Just because what's fair and what's right and what's legal, those lines get blurred often.
All the time.
And the only objective way, and I hate it, the only objective way that we can judge these things is based off of what does your contract say?
Right.
Not what anybody has said to you, not what not what verbal agreement, handshake deal you made with someone. What does the writing say in this contract?
Right.
And so when looking at the story of Juwan James, who was released from the Broncos after essentially working out, with a trainer somewhere other than the Broncos facility, I'm torn. I mean, his argument is that the team encouraged him to work out away from the facility, but his contract specifically forbade that. Did I say that right? Forbade?
Forbade. I think it is forbade. Okay. Forbade that, yeah.
And so he's filed this grievance. It's obvious that the teams want you to work out even if you're not at the facility. Obviously, they don't think that you're just going to stay home and do nothing. But they also have written in the contract that if anything happens to you away from our facility, we aren't held liable. Which in fairness, because you can't say like, let's take what's his name first? Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald does some unique training.
Yes, he does.
With machetes and knives and stuff like that.
I don't understand this, brother, but yeah.
And he's doing it. So in order for teams to protect themselves and protect their investments, which that sounds awful now that I say it out loud.
The commodity. Yeah.
Yeah. They have to put language in the contracts to say that if this is something that you're going to do, then we can't be held liable for that. And so let me say, because I don't want to decide, I'm always, cognizant of sounding insensitive. I think that he should get his money. But I also think that these NFL players read their contracts and understand the risk they're taking when they go train at these other facilities. Because that was a $15 million mistake. And if he doesn't win a grievance, which I believe he will, if he doesn't win that grievance, we can talk about how unfair and unethical it is for the Broncos not to give him this money, but it's legal.
Right. Clearly they have the best lawyers to make sure that there are no loopholes, right? But I think it's two things that you said that I want to address, but go ahead. I'll wait.
Well, no, I was just going to say that he's being represented by the NFLPA, And so their lawyers are top notch as well. And so it's just it'll be interesting to see like what the conclusion of this will be.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't talk.
No, you're fine. You good. One thing I think you said that I think is key here is reading your contract.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a player, I don't know how much negotiation room they have, but I'm the type of person that I'm going to say something. I'm going to ask for something, some language to be put in my contract about extenuating circumstances or situations where it's because this was an extenuating circumstance. The reason he wasn't able to work out at the facility is because of the pandemic. It is not because it was off season and he was just doing it because he wanted to be staying in shape. It wasn't, it was extenuating because you still expected them to be in shape to come play football. So instead of them hurting themselves on the field by not being in shape, they were trying to do, and here's my other part of that. Somebody needs to take responsibility for their or accountability for their part too. Somebody told these guys, make sure you stay in shape. Well, what's the insinuation? I got to go work out. Even if the words "go work out where you can" didn't come out of your mouth, you insinuated. If you were like, be in shape when it's time to come back, you insinuated. Right. And so you need to take accountability for your part in this and not just say, well, you went out there and you did it, and this is what our contract says, so bye. Like that feels wrong. I know, like you said, this is between the wrong, right, legal, right, all that is very gray and fuzzy. And I get that. But I just feel like just off GP because of the pandemic, like if this was any other season, any other reason, I'd be like, well, he should have read a contract. And I would still want them to pay him, but that's regardless. But particularly because of these crazy circumstances that we've been in, like, don't you think you should just do the right thing? You know what I mean? Because that man would have been at the facility working out if it wasn't for COVID. Right. He didn't make COVID happen. You didn't make COVID happen. So please, like, let's just be like, where's the humane side of things? Where's the humane side of this? Like, this man got hurt. Potentially, he out for a whole nother season.
These owners don't believe that they're human.
Okay, we won't go there. Anyway, but yeah. So I'm what I hope that happens is that he does win his grievance, because what I hope that does then is opens the dialogue for these players. We ain't talking about the owners are gonna do what they do to look out for themselves, but for these players to then start to say, hey, let's put some language in my contract or request some language in my contract. Like I hope this is an eye opener is what I'm trying to say. This is an eye opener for other players to like, I need to do this to protect myself. Right. Well, let me just see if we can get this language in my contract.
I think the flip side of this too is if you are a player, right, and you are looking for a free agent destination, and you see that this is the way that the Broncos treat their players, that's not somewhere that you're going to want to go play.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I don't think that they're looking at this thing holistically. And whatever backlash they get from it, they deserve.
This is kind of how it was with the Browns for a long time. Like, nobody wanted to go there, right? Right. Like, y'all got staph infections. You got, like, it was all kind of crazy stuff going on there. Right. Like, I don't want to go play there. Like, no, if I got to choose, it was only, honestly, Johnny Manziel kind of opened the door back up. Him being drafted there, and then behind him, Baker Mayfield. But yeah. Right. Yeah.
You know, and so looking at the top of that, right? they went in, they got the Moneyball guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy from, you remember that movie with, Lord, who was in that movie?
Matthew McConaughey. Was that
Was that Matthew McConaughey?
I want to say it was the Moneyball movie.
Yeah.
I think that was Matthew McConaughey.
Okay. So that movie was about the Oakland A's and their GM who was like, spend. That's the only way that we're going to get the top people here. And that's how we're going to win championships. And winning championships brings more money. So you don't have to worry about that part.
Right.
So they got that guy, or at least a disciple of that guy.
It was Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, that's what it was. Yes.
Brad Pitt. Yeah. I'm like, some blonde. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what they got to come to Cleveland. And that's the reason they've been getting free agents. They're like, we're going to pay you above market value to come and play in Cleveland.
But they had to do that to get them there. That's my point. There, right? Like nobody wanted to come because of the reputation that the organization had kind of gotten. You had to do that in order to get people to come there.
Right. But that takes a shift in mindset of ownership, right?
Absolutely.
Because with ownership, what that says is, okay, because I'm spending up all of this money, there may be a few years in here where I'm not making as much money as the other owners or as much money as I'm used to making. I'm going to have to take a short in here for the end game. And
that's great future thinking.
Yeah.
It's worked out well.
Yeah. They made it to the playoffs. They got a playoff win this past year. And they're poised to go a little deeper this year. So
absolutely.
I'm interested in seeing how that works out.
Absolutely. So, okay. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll update you guys on this Juwan James story, because we're really interested in seeing like what happens with this.
Yeah.
Now this next story. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't saying anything. I'm getting ready. Look, I'm preparing myself.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what that was for.
Yeah.
Now this next story is a bit painful to have to discuss. We've seen, and honestly, it hasn't just been Simone Biles. It's been Black women gymnasts over maybe the last 25 years that we've seen this steady train coming where there's been like dominance, but no gymnast has been as dominant as Simone Biles. Nope. And because she has been so dominant, there are now conversations around her about what needs to happen to level the playing field. So, as a Black woman, how does this make you feel when you see things like so many? We've seen so many firsts for Black women,
right?
And it's 2021.
Yeah.
But to have a Black woman who is dominant in gymnastics, and because of that dominance, there is now conversations about what needs to be done.
It's the words for me. How do we handle the Simone Biles dominance? I'm sorry. Wait, what? Huh?
Right.
What do you mean handle? You get better. Don't whine. Go get better.
Right.
Or you just deal with it because she was born for this. I put this on a post. Like, the girl is anointed. Yeah. She was born for this. And therefore, it is evident and showing on every occasion that she was born for this.
Right.
I think back to the 80s. I was a little girl, but I remember Mary Lou Retton.
Yeah.
She was a little bit like Simone, who was at her time, I mean, not on the level that Simone has, but at the time she was dominating gymnastics. I know I was a little girl, but I know I don't remember conversation around what we're gonna do to make sure that she don't keep just like, what's the point of anybody else showing up? Because that kind of what get better. Because that's what had to happen, right? Other countries started, their gymnasts started just being better in order to compete. So I don't care if you're a United States gymnast or around the world gymnast. You just need to figure out how to get better. If it is not her fault, and therefore there is no way to handle this.
Right.
I don't know why Michael Phelps keeps coming to me. Nobody said, let's figure out how we handle Michael Phelps, because he dominates swimming like nobody's business.
Right. Right.
I can keep going on and on of people who dominate their sports, right?
Right.
When Michael Jordan was at the peak, nobody was like, how are we going to handle this? What? I ain't heard nobody say LeBron, how we going to handle LeBron?
Oh yeah, I heard some people say it.
Oh really?
Let's trade James Harden to the Nets. I mean, but I'm sorry, I just had to throw that.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just different though, right? It's not a handling LeBron thing. It's
right.
But that's the mentality right there. Well, let's just get better so we can compete against LeBron. Like that's what that what competition is about. Sport is competition. And so what you should be doing, instead of worrying about how you dummy her down, because you want me to talk from a Black woman's perspective. This is our issue all the time. Black women, when we decide we're going to do something and we're going to do it in excellence, typically it works out very, very well.
Right.
And not one time have I seen where it was just appreciated, but it's always, you got to be made to feel like you need to lessen yourself, like shrink for somebody else to feel okay.
Right.
It was a lady on TikTok today. I know this is so inappropriate, but it was a lady on TikTok today. It was a white lady. And somebody had posted on somebody had commented on one of her posts and said, just like you all do, tell us to stay out of your conversation. When white people are speaking, don't be in our conversation, or something to that effect. She was like, I had to come on and address this comment because you don't get to today, tomorrow, not the next day, get on my page and tell any Black woman that she needs to be quiet and stay out of our conversations, because we are all born from a Black woman.
Right.
This was a white lady saying this. We were all born from a Black woman. So a Black woman has the opportunity and the right to be in any conversation she chooses to be in. That was what she said.
Yeah.
But the sentiment, not just about conversation, but the sentiment is the thought of the person who wrote the comment is where we fight all the time. So somebody wants to, how do you handle Simone Biles? Do you want her to stop being a gymnast? Do you want her to stop being so good? Like, you want her to dummy down what she does, like water it down for you? Like, what is it that you exactly want her to do? She is operating in her mother nature greatness.
Right. Yeah.
Her God-given gift.
It's disheartening, you know. It feels like this conversation was, and maybe it wasn't in the exact same way, or it wasn't said the same, but it just feels like this was kind of the conversation around Serena.
Yeah, I thought about her. I did.
At the height of her dominance.
I thought about her. Her and Venus at the height.
Her and Venus. I remember before Serena became as dominant as she was, like, people were looking at Venus like they look at Serena now. You know, and so when you hear stories like this, they're disheartening because you can see just by clear the definition of her arms that she is truly dedicated, you know what I'm saying, to this sport. And that she's put the time in. And you can see it by her performance. You know, so she's doing stuff that's never been done. And so to hear someone say, how are we going to handle this? Like, what do you mean? Like, what's that supposed to mean?
Get better.
Right.
That's all. That's the only answer there is to the question. Go get better.
Get better. Yeah.
Go get better. Or you can just wait her out. She going to get older and she going to stop eventually.
Eventually.
Age, look, what do you say all the time? Father time
is undefeated.
Is undefeated. So you're going to, eventually she will stop. But you can just wait it out or you can stop whining and go get better.
Mm-hmm.
But don't ask her to not be great because you, what? Because you can't keep up.
Yeah.
Because this is what we should, listen, I'm going to say this from a life coach perspective. This is what we should all be striving for. Mm-hmm. Finding that thing that you are God-given, that talent, that gift, that whatever, that calling, and you should work at it as hard as you can so that you can be just as good in your respective place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what Shaw should be doing that. We should.
Right. Right.
It's okay, God gave her a little extra sauce. Y'all just got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Like she do stuff with her body that nobody else can.
Right.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
But like from a Black woman's perspective, that's how I see it. Just overall as a female, yeah. It's disheartening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
Love to Simone Biles. You keep doing what you're doing. Please ignore the chatter. We'll fight these battles.
She does. She does. She does a great job of just letting them do what they do. She doesn't respond to any of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that she's that way. Keep doing you, like you said. Yeah.
Keep doing you. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and get them snatch up them gold medals in this Olympics coming up.
Make more history.
Give them even more of a reason to hate on you.
Make more history. Just keep on making history.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.